Hey everybody, I hope that you're doing great. It is now week 9 of college football, and personally, I can take a deep breath. It was a really close weekend, and Iowa State gets to go on a bye this week. So, get a little time off, and very much needed for us. Just a little recap for our game, the Iowa State game, which I went to. Some friends came back to town. It was a little reunion. It was great. But that meant I was busy all day and I didn't get to watch any of the other games on Saturday. Watched a little bit of the Friday night games and not really too much on Saturday morning. So I don't have too much to analyze with a lot of the games since I didn't see it, and all I'm looking at is the ESPN stats, so apologies for this week. But it was a riveting game. We almost lost to UCF. Our quarterback threw 2 pick sixes essentially, and I say essentially because one of them, the player who caught it and ran it in, dropped it on the 1 yard line. Now, granted, the next play they got a touchdown, and it pretty much counts as a pick six in everybody's mind, but doesn't go down on the stat sheet. But we ended up winning in the end by 3, 38-35. It was a very close game, and it was scary. We were a 2-touchdown favorite at home, so not the most confident. We couldn't really stop the run. There were a few chunky runs that really blew out the stats, but still we were almost at a 10 yards per rush allowed as a defense, which is just terrible. We kind of tried to do everything we could to lose that game, but we pulled out. Got to go to the game. They had a drone show at halftime, so that was really sick. But enough about Iowa State. It's time to get into the games today. So I'll switch over here, and we'll start with the Big 12, of course. And the first game is on Saturday at 2:30. So the two teams on bye this week are Iowa State and Arizona State, so they're not in here. But it's a weird schedule, I think. It's just a really weird schedule week because all these teams are in such a different spot. I sounded Italian there. I'm sorry. Such a different spot than what was projected at the start of the season. I mean, look at this. This is a good example. Oklahoma State was supposed to be a top 3 team. They're 7-point underdogs to Baylor, and Baylor's okay. They're not great. They're okay. And this is a 65-point over-under. That's insane. I hate both of these teams, really. I don't think Iowa State plays either of them. Did we play Baylor? I can't remember. We don't have them on the rest of the schedule. I don't remember. Maybe we did. I apologize if we did. I really don't know about this game. I mean, Baylor's at home. Oklahoma State is so bad that I'm just going to pick against them because it's proven well. BYU and UCF, what a weird game. UCF is a powerhouse at home, of course. They're coming off of a hard loss against Iowa State last week, and BYU is very good. I'm not really sure why the lines are what they are. These River lines are broken across the board, so don't look at those. And apparently Sports Trade, whatever that is flipped. But UCF is a 2-point underdog, so this is a pick-em because UCF is at home, and they might even be a 3-point spread for the home team. So BYU might be favored by 1, but still a toss-up. For Iowa State's sake, I think we have to root for BYU in this one, and based on the fan interactions that I had last weekend with the UCF fans, they are not a fan base that I want to interact with much. They were just kind of awful people. They weren't being fun in the joking way, and that's not good to see, especially for a new team that's trying to establish themselves in a new conference. It's not the way to make friends, so I will be rooting for their downfall for a while to come because I don't hold grudges or anything. One moment, please. All right. Another weird game. A lot of 2:30 weird games. Texas Tech versus TCU. This will be a tough game. Texas Tech coming off of a killer blowout against Baylor. They lost by 20. Sorry, I'm yawning a lot. I'm scared of Texas Tech a little bit. Less scared now than I was because we play them the week after our bye. So for our homecoming game, Texas Tech will be in town. But was a lot more worried about them before last weekend when they lost to Baylor. And it might happen again against TCU. So it'll be interesting to see how they do. It'd be cool to watch Texas Tech and scout them a little bit. But I'll echo what I say every week. Texas Tech is my failed dark horse for multiple seasons in a row now. So I feel like I've taken all of my eggs out of their basket at this point, which kind of sucks to see. But I'd go, shoot. For Iowa State's sake, everybody they play has to be a winner. But I don't know. This will be their bounce back game after last week. I think they got to really prove it, or they're going to have a hard time going forward. 6 p.m. games: West Virginia at Arizona. I think Arizona just got pummeled a little bit. They lost to someone. Let me see here. My expert review here. I thought that was kind of an upset. Arizona. Yeah, they lost to Colorado. Okay, so Colorado is pretty decent. But still, they got blown out by Colorado. And West Virginia is pretty good. I'm kind of surprised that they're 3-point favorites, but I'd take West Virginia in this one. I think they're good. They just came off of a hard loss to Kansas State, though, so this is kind of a rebound for both teams. Who wants it more? And they're just kind of giving the spread to the home team, which makes sense. Utah and Houston. Another one of those like preseason what the heck is going on things where Utah was the favorite to win and now they're only a 3.5-point favorite against Houston. And super low scoring game apparently. Either of these teams are fine. I'm going to assume Utah's going to win, but they're going to have a struggle the rest of the season no matter what. I think Houston won't be able to do as much. They've had a rough season already. Sunflower Showdown. This will be a very exciting game to watch. Unfortunately, I won't be able to. I've got plans Saturday night. But this is another really interesting game. I think Kansas State wins it just fine. I'd love to see them cover the spread. This will be a very electric game, the rivalry game in the Kansas area. So I think it'll be fun to watch. So hopefully I can find a replay of it after somewhere, or at least see some good clips that come out of it. Kansas State all the way, though. Cincinnati at Colorado. Cincinnati is apparently better than some people thought they were, is what I've been hearing. I don't really have an opinion on them still, and Colorado kind of proved themselves a bit against Arizona last week, and I really don't have a feel at all for this game, so I say I always pick against Colorado and Dion, and I just don't trust and don't know Cincinnati at all, so I don't have a vibe on this game at all, so apologies for the poor analysis. Let's kind of work backwards here with the other non-Big 12 games. We've got the Michigans fighting each other up, and Michigan State just had a really great win against Iowa. Their quarterback looked pretty good. Iowa just kept going down their leg, and not much came from it. I hate Michigan. I'd love to see a little upset against Michigan for Michigan State here. It'd be cool to see them go into the whatever the Big M Stadium is and take a win out of this. I think they can really use that momentum they had from Iowa last week. Texas and Vanderbilt. Chalk it up as a loss for Texas. We've seen what Vanderbilt is capable of. But really, I think Texas should be fine. I think it would be really hilarious and really entertaining if Vanderbilt wins this, of course, but at least keeps it close, keeps it competitive in some fashion. I doubt they will, but I think that would be really funny to see. I think that'll be an easy win for Texas. So, Illinois and Oregon. So, Oregon just blew out Purdue. No big surprise there, but I believe this follows the trend I mentioned last week, where the teams who travel 2 time zones have a really hard time existing. They've been like 9-3-1 against the spread prior to last week. Last week they went 1-2, so the trend is kind of backfilling. But the 3 games that have this week, this is one of them. So bet the Oregon spread, which is kind of scary because Illinois is not bad, but Oregon is a powerhouse. But over a 3 touchdown favorite is kind of a lot. So who knows? I think Oregon will be fine, but the spread is what would be interesting to talk about. Hopefully, I mean, I'm going to follow the trend and bet the Oregon spread and hope for the best, but one that doesn't follow the trend, had to talk about the Hawkeyes and them getting just dominated by Michigan State, and that's hilarious. There was a Hawkeye at the Iowa State game for some reason last week, so he really got the business given to him, but I mean, they're playing Northwestern. I would think they'd be fine, but we would have thought they'd be fine against Michigan State, so who knows? They might surprise us again. Their season's pretty much over, though, in terms of anything meaningful, so the last two games here do follow the two time zone trend. This one says bet Indiana minus 6.5, which is a really nice number, under a touchdown. Washington is not great. Indiana is apparently amazing. So only 6.5. That's not bad. That's an easy bet. But everybody's on 6.5, so they probably know something, and it's a little scary. But I'm betting the minus 6.5. And then same with USC, minus 14. That's a pretty decent number. Rutgers isn't great. USC is better. And Rutgers has to travel 3 time zones west. But that's easier than traveling 3 time zones east. So who knows? I don't imagine this will be a great game, but it is a Friday night game at 10 p.m. Central if you want to watch football on Friday night. So there we go. That's where we're at for this week. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you're watching this week, and I will talk to you later. Peace out.